Ow! Dissidia.
So guys, welcome to...
Alright guys, so happy 2018, and this is going to be a big year for our channel, HP Plus. So I'm back with Harrison and Nick, and this is podcast number 3. And we're kind of looking to the future a little bit and seeing what's going on out there, and it's going to be fun. So let's get rolling. There's going to be a bunch of topics tonight. And first I want to mention that there's going to be a lot of videos coming up. Like we've got some playthroughs. Harrison has not played a lot of good games that aren't super lengthy that I think it'd be fun for us to watch and judge him while he plays them. Yeah.
The judging.
Yeah. We'll go live on the judging.
Then I think we'll have some debates, some lists coming up, some more opinion pieces, but also some more analytical stuff when it comes to game development and kind of the direction for gaming in general. So anyway, we wanted to start tonight with talking about the last DLC for Final Fantasy 15. Well, at least the last DLC for 2017, because apparently they're going to be making more, which was episode IGNIS, which I have played. These two lost their downloads.
Yeah, we were playing Xenoblade.
Yeah.
And I've just been kind of stuck, so...
Yeah. And Nick's been doing girlfriend stuff.
There's a lot to play.
There is a lot to play.
There is a lot to play, for sure. But I do want to say that I thought it was hands down the best DLC for 15. I feel like that it nailed all the elements, like it got the gameplay down, and I feel like the story and character stuff was some of the best, if not better, than the main game. So huge props to that, and at the end it's got a cool little twist because it goes off on an alternate timeline, and it shows a different ending to the game as if certain events never transpired.
So a what if.
A what if. A little, Chrono Trigger-y little dash, I guess, so you could, get a different ending, essentially. But anyway, it was really cool. Ignis was definitely the character from that game that when I went in, I was like, but by the end, I was like, I really like Ignis. He's one of the better characters,
all
for
those
sure.
recipes.
Yeah, all the recipes.
I really like that. We were talking about this earlier, but yeah, just with the animes and the movie, you get a lot of story with the characters, and the DLC is also fleshed out more of that, and I've enjoyed them so far, so I'm excited to play it. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. But
I've heard it's the best of the DLCs they released, so I'm looking forward to playing it as well.
I feel like we had similar opinions with the other two.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked episode Prompto, but I thought episode Gladiolus was just
Yeah.
kind of okay. I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, I enjoyed
it. It was short, but there wasn't any story.
Not really.
There was no story context in it. Spoiler alert. And then, but Prompto was very different.
It was a slight story.
There's a little bit.
But not like
but
it's
like
not
nothing
the
like
same as
Prompto or Ignis, which you'll see eventually.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. But they have more DLC planned, right? For 15?
Well, that's the thing, is it must be that the 15 DLC turned out to be a very good idea for Square because, they financially at least.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah, as far as, or else they wouldn't continue it from a business perspective, which is obviously important. So, but, it kind of boils down to, like when is DLC good and when is it not? So in 15, I feel like it's pretty debatable. This is probably one of the bad tastes in fans' mouth about 15 is how they've kind of parsed out not necessarily huge moments, but a lot of stuff that makes the end game and final package be more fleshed out and complete. Was that in their DLC, they had essentially what is story behind a paywall that really would have helped out the payoff from the main game. Now, you could always say, oh, well, we got something. Yeah, it's true. But, it's about the overall experience, and I get that they want to, make games, expand them out. I forget the term for it right now. where they're like trying to like games as a service. That's what they call it. Where basically you release your game and then you keep throwing out some content like throughout the next year or two.
That just seems the way that a lot of things are going. As opposed to raising the price of the initial game, it seems more common now that a lot of companies are doing DLC, so you continue to pay without that initial like, oh, I'm buying a game for $70, $80. I don't like this, but in the end, you might end up paying over $100, $150. You know, depending on the game that you're playing. Loot boxes, we talked about some of those are crazy, but like stuff like with story and things like that, sometimes it's helpful to have things, and I know like some games that I've played, just you wanna experience more, and it's good when you get something, but you don't want to feel like it's hindering the original experience. And I know that they've done that with several games where it's like, if you want to get the actual ending, you have to like pay for it, and that shouldn't be the way that things go. But
so I think that there's a spectrum there, right? Like games as a service, and when I hear games as a service, I think of Steam. Right.
Yeah. Well, now like titles are adopting that term.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, where like they're parsing out like content like throughout like a certain lifestyle, like they do with Destiny and stuff like that.
So there's definitely a spectrum there. I mean, on one end you have the free to play games that you can play for free, but if you really want to extract the meat of the game, or you want to really fully play the game, you have to involve yourself in all these microtransactions. And you have to pay a lot of money sort of in these sort of more compartmentalized ways. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have, say a AAA title that comes out and it's literally so self-contained, has no DLC. You don't ever have to pay anything other than the initial purchase price. And then you have everything in between, sort of. But there are definitely those games where you love them so much and you really just wish there was more content there. And in that sense, DLCs can be very good.
Like Dark Souls does it well.
Dark Souls does it well.
Like they release like different chunks, but it's tricky when it gets into story and narrative and stuff like that.
Agreed.
Dark Souls, it's 99% gameplay.
I think
for that.
That one of the best studios that did DLC very well was CD Projekt Red with Witcher 3. Like Witcher 3, you have this incredibly long, large game that is complete and has a plot that ends, and then you have these huge DLC expansions that sort of go off in this other direction. They're self-contained stories, and they're very meaty as well. So you could play Witcher 3, you could totally ignore the 2 DLC expansions, and you could still enjoy that game fully. Where I think you start to get into trouble is with games where there's a missing piece that they release later behind a paywall. Say what you want about EA. Certainly they're doing that a little bit in terms of critical features of the game that you have to pay extra money for. And you said something $3,000. You said something interesting earlier about 15 and the anime and the movie that supplemented it that were available when the game released. And I think, I classify that a little bit differently than I do like these actual DLC packages that come after the fact. Like I feel that 100% of the experience, more or less, at least narratively, should be available on day one. And when, you go back to the game months later and then you play this, episode Gladio, episode Prompto, episode Ignis, that I'm sure really do flesh out and supplement the game, what about that guy who played it on a release day and played it all and had a bad opinion of the game? What do you say to him? Do you say go back and play the DLC, you'll get the full story, or...
You just probably didn't like the game. Or
just say, playing devil's advocate, say they're on the fence though. Say, they love the game, but there was some characterization missing. There were critical plot details that were missing.
It's the very high bar that Square sets for themselves. And sometimes it's, they nail it and sometimes they don't. And 15... I did like the story overall. Like I would not call it incomplete, and I hope that one day down the road, like they're gonna have like a 15 complete where like they have all this stuff integrated,
Game of the Year
integrated into the main story, so you can go back and experience this full package with like the additional probably like 8 or 10 hours of content. Then that would be cool. And like I know that this era will be like a little remembered for feeling that the narrative was missing and that you had to pay for more of it. But one day, when it's all said and done, 10 years from now, we'll look back on 15 and it'll be this complete version.
Because that's kind of what happened with like Doom. Doom had like a ton of DLC and they released it at full price over a year after it had been released on the Switch, and like, but you get all that DLC when you buy the new game, and a lot of people didn't care that they were paying full price for a game that was coming with all that DLC. So I think with what you're saying, when that comes out, people are going to be excited and they'll still want to buy it.
And they'll probably sell a $60 complete edition all over again
Sure.
for PS5 with updated graphics. Yeah.
Well,
right?
video games in the tech market always have punished early adopters, right? So, if you wait for for Witcher 3, I held off on the game for a while because I didn't have a PS4. And then when I finally bought it, it was the Game of the Year edition, and had all the DLC. And I think for Final Fantasy 15, something very similar is going to happen, I know they have more DLC planned. I think there's an episode Arden.
I would assume
really cool.
Luna would probably be very likely.
Right.
And then they're saying a third one that they want to take us by surprise with. So that would end it. They want there to be a finality to the last DLC.
And so I think you're going to get a Final Fantasy 15 complete or a Game of the Year version or something like that.
For PS5. Better graphics. Yeah.
Down a little bit of DLC when you buy the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah, right. I do think we've had conversations about this, and I feel like we are generally in agreement about it, but to different degrees. And I do think that there's been a loud voice about this, and I think that Square would be crazy if they haven't heard about this. And the good news about 7 Remake is that it's going to be a trilogy, and I feel like they can just do 3 complete games without missing elements.
Solid one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to throw in these little bite-sized things. You'll probably have to wait 2 years in between, for Star Wars.
You don't think? There's any chance we're going to get outfit packs or?
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be that bullshit,
but nothing critical. Nothing
a lot. I wouldn't say
horse
bullshit.
armor.
A lot of people like that you can dress your character up in ridiculous clothes.
Sure.
So, and I don't have a problem with that if the people want to buy it.
There was
I'm not I can't believe I can't wear a clown's dress. There was
there was a lot of that for Persona 5 that you could, and I did, and I think a lot of people did, that just completely ignored. It's just non-essential gossamer. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle the 7 remake, and see how they release it, and what additional stuff they might try to market.
But I think that they've heard the message. Come on, don't hide anything that's important to the main narrative behind any paywall. Essentially, I'm cool with DLC chapters, tight.
I like DLC, and it's funny. We brought up EA earlier. But again, Skate, I'm going to bring it up. It was they had They had some really cool DLC, and part of the things that I liked about it was that they also released free DLC. Who can't complain about? You're just giving me more
15's
stuff.
15's done that a few times.
And there were some DLC packs, and there's with so many different games. So it's do I want to get a glow-in-the-dark skateboard, or do I want to get some crazy car in Mario Kart? It's there's all these different things that if you're that crazy about the game and you just want to have some special thing, you might put in a few extra bucks to get it. But but that's extra stuff. So it's and that stuff's fun. I enjoy those things, especially the free stuff. Free
stuff's always good.
Oh yeah. So I do think DLC isn't going away. It's definitely
absolutely not.
I think that it's going to be something that's probably going to be around. It started with expansions, and then little extra levels, and now you get chunks of story, and more episodic, I guess. Maybe they're Netflix, you get everything in these, whatever you want in these bite-sized pizzas.
I think Telltale is sort of on the cutting edge of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really excited about Detroit, too, which will be a very story-driven game.
We're going to talk about our 2018.
Yeah, we'll get to that. All right, so let's move on. DLC, fun stuff. Hopefully they do it right. Do it right. So what is the next game that you think's going to be remade and remastered, like that you think it should be, but it can't be something that would be out of nowhere, like doing a 4K Earthbound.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I know that's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
I honestly, there was one thing that I was excited for was please put like a Bayonetta or something on the Switch. And I know it's not a remake.
You got your wish.
It's a port, but it's like something that I'm excited about because I never played any of them. But I know that's not like a real remake. I'm just like, it's hard for me to say because there's so many games that are like nostalgic for me that like I would love to see them redone just to replay them. But that's like, it's kind of just a pipe dream that it's just selfish. I just want these things and I want to replay them, but I can't, like, I don't know what I would say, honestly, could be the next remake. I'm going to continue to think while you all talk, but if I come up with something, I'll say something.
Yeah. It's a really... So the question, I guess, the prompt is, what do we think is going to be remade, not what we would love to be remade.
Or we could do both, you know.
But,
yeah.
So, I mean, I would love to see almost like all the Resident Evil games and even some of maybe the Silent Hill games done with a new engine.
Silent Hill 1 remake would be awesome. But it would have to be done by the original team.
I mean, I'm still very... Which have scattered to the four winds.
Yeah.
You know, like I would love, and again, this kind of comes back to, this isn't really a true answer to this question. I think it's a little cheating, but like I was so upset when Silent Hills didn't make it.
Yeah.
It was
worst
canceled.
game cancellation of all time.
But I mean, can you imagine like Silent Hill 2 done in the Silent Hills engine, like
that'd be crazy.
With all the care and the finesse that game had? It would be incredible.
It would be cool.
And so, I'd like to see the Resident Evil games done either in the style of the GameCube remake of the original or with the 7 engine. What do I think's going to happen? I think you're going to see a lot of series like, you've seen this with Crash Bandicoot and you've seen this with Ratchet and Crank. Like these sort of PS2, maybe even like late stage PS1 games, a lot of platformers probably. Well, you'll see these sort of like remaster versions or 1080p to 4K remasters.
What about Dark Souls?
Dark Souls, I mean, they're talking about porting it to the Switch.
The original,
maybe,
like that game should get remastered. And I don't think it'd be too expensive either. Like I don't know why they haven't remastered that.
So that
they would just put a fresh coat of paint on it.
And that carves out the difference between a remaster and a remake. Like a remaster is basically just maybe replacing the textures with higher grade textures,
upscaling it to higher resolution.
Upscaling the resolution,
Yeah.
maybe increasing the frame rate, just sort of performance related things. Whereas a remake is more from the ground up kind of,
for sure,
alteration.
Yeah,
because they did that in Crash Bandicoot for sure.
Exactly, that was technically a remake.
That was a remake, but not as cumbersome for game standards today. No offense to Crash Bandicoot, it's an amazing game. But, it was representative platformers in 1996 or 95, whenever that came out.
I just remember when it came out, a bunch of people that were like, they had mastered the original. It was like, new one came out, and the jumping mechanic was slightly different. So
right.
That kind of blew their mind and everything. And that's like, I think that's interesting.
Kind of like they had to learn it all over again.
Yeah, because they did like start over, essentially.
It's a difficult thing to predict, though. Like, what's going to be remade next? What is going to...
I think like the Dark Souls. What was the
that would
Dark
make
Souls?
sense.
What was the
Demon Souls?
Demon Souls. That would be an interesting thing because
they just shut down the servers for it.
Yeah.
So it had this interesting online mechanic like Dark Souls, but in Demon Souls you could play as enemies in it.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's that one boss, the Pope boss, I think.
That's the one I never played.
Whenever you would fight that boss, it would be somebody else playing as the boss, and you were like this beefed up monster character as
that brings up an interesting point though with the servers shutting down for Demon Souls. So much of like those are hard games. And one of the only ways to make it through some of those battles is to get assistance get a friend.
It's the only way. Well, I mean, like a lot of people say that game it's challenging and difficult, but it's not unfair. I do think it's kind of unfair.
Very unfair. It is very unfair.
Yeah, but I feel like those are the ones online who are like,
I mean, there are those wizards.
Indeed, I am a brilliant gamer.
Yeah, there are those wizards that like beat Dark Souls with fucking Donkey Kong bongo controllers. Guitar Hero controller. It's like
that's crazy.
I mean, obviously those guys are out there, but it's an incredibly hard series.
I think that a lot of that game is just like it comes to a point where it is like if you die, it is your fault and you could acknowledge it. But they get to levels where you're just like, this is, yeah, it is.
In that sense, yeah, the game is not unfair. Like if you. I get there. Okay, so you can be unfair in terms of game design, and you can be unfair in terms of janky controls.
Yeah.
And Dark Souls is definitely the former rather than the latter. Mm-hmm. But like, it makes a lot of design choices where it just fucks with you.
Oh yeah.
You know,
there's one that I remember.
It tries to walk you off.
There's
the cliff.
one I remember that is the most unfair in all of them, and that is the bed of chaos towards the end of Dark Souls 1, where the floor collapses. And you have to jump on that narrow ramp to get behind these bushes to kill the fetus at the end. If you remember that.
No, I do. Yeah. And there's like a 5-minute path to get there from the last save
and you die and you do it
all the time.
And you run through the lava and lose health and you have giant beasts like So, but man, Dark Souls 1 masterpiece. Like one of my favorite PS3 games easily.
Me too, yeah.
But yeah, like for me, like what I want to be like remade, what deserves it would be Xenogears. But like that is I just don't think the fan base is out there for that. And for them to do a AAA remake of Xenogears would be a multi-part thing, and Square and Monolith Software have to get back along. Like I don't know. That's my pipe dream one.
I'm gonna throw one in there since we're going back to the PlayStation RPG age. I'd love to see another Suikoden game that rivals 2. That's one franchise, along with all the other Konami franchises.
What have you done, Konami?
It just that would be my sort of like fan wish
for sure.
Would be
I wonder where that team is, like where those developers are.
I don't know.
Yeah, they got to be somewhere because obviously Suikoden's renowned. Games. Yeah, that I would say that's one of my criminal game since I have not played Suikoden 2.
So Suikoden 2, one of the best RPGs of all time. Not going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but it's on the PlayStation Network. If you have the chance, you have 10 or 20 hours, definitely check it out. It's a masterpiece. Suikoden 2.
Yeah, Harrison. Anyway,
remaster of Skate.
Yeah, remaster. That's your dream. Yeah, your dream. Yeah, for sure. What did you give your pipe dream one?
My pipe dream one was a new Suikoden.
A new Suikoden. Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll see what happens. But cool news is that Resident Evil 2 Remake, which has been in development for about 2 to 3 years now, is apparently going to get, this is a rumor, a release trailer on its 20th anniversary at the end of January. So
that'd be cool.
Hopefully that's
very cool.
That's what happens. Yeah, for sure. Resident Evil 2, man.
Maybe we'll talk about it if they show it.
That's a day one for sure. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Day one. Yeah, you should climb on board that. If you don't get scared,
it's gonna be interesting because they've released literally no assets.
Hold my hand. It'll be fine.
Yeah, all right.
They've released nothing in terms of previews for Resident Evil 2. Like it's just a concept at this point. We don't know what the engine looks like.
They had an announcement video of a guy standing by a monitor with the logo with the eye. You remember the eye in the middle that blinks? Yeah, that was William Birkin's eye, who got the G virus. Anyway,
good virus.
Like we saw, but that was like 2 to 3 years ago. So it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a lot of time, so they're putting a lot of work into this, So
I think odds are it's going to be more like Resident Evil 7 than the Resident Evil remake.
I would hope. But, like, there is one caveat to that, is that Resident Evil 7 did not sell nearly as well as 5 or 6 did. So, which makes me sad. Yeah, I actually looked at that recently. It was
wildly critically acclaimed.
It was wildly critically acclaimed, but that Call of Duty shit sells. And Capcom, like that. That's what makes me worry about
Call
the
of
Resident
Duty's
Evil 2
cool.
remake. Yeah, Call of Duty. Yeah,
Call of Duty's cool.
I mean, I don't mean to patronize y'all. Like those are just my tastes. Call of Duty.
Aside from these true believers,
he used to play all the time. That's why he didn't play good games. Anyway, so
whatever.
Right, we'll move on. We'll move
on. Yeah. Resident Evil 2. All right, so. All right, here's our fourth question. Will AAA RPGs return to turn-based battle systems in the near future? Now, the reason I bring this up is because of, probably most importantly, Persona 5 was a huge hit. It was actually commercially a surprise, too. I think the Persona 4 sold under 1 million, and Persona 5 sold over 2 million.
It's definitely the most successful of the series.
Oh yeah, for sure,
yeah.
But will the behemoths like Square take notice of what Atlas did, and will they try and make a modern active time battle system? I do think that the only chance of that doing that, like I would expect 7 to have those elements, but it still will probably be action-y in a way. But the reason I bring that up is because 10.3 is heavily rumored to be in production. Like Shinji Hashimoto has winked his eye at it like 1 million times and said, "Wait for more news on it."
Magnagun's back.
Yeah, Magnagun's back. But I would think that because 10.2 had such a great battle system, like arguably the best version of the Final Fantasy classic active time battle system.
Definitely the best version of the job system.
Yeah, and the job system. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but is there any way for them to go back to that? I think the best opportunity would be for 10.3, just because it would make sense. Logically,
it would make sense
because today people will be
trajectory
like,
of that franchise.
Exactly, like people will be like, "Oh, 10 did have a turn-based battle system, so this makes sense today because they're continuing that."
But even more than that, I think you have to consider when that game came out. The turn-based active time battle system was still very much in vogue at that time.
I felt it's like at the end, 2003 is when
it was a bit of a swan song in terms of the Final Fantasy approach to the active time battle. But
I would like them to go back because I just recently have been playing a lot of the Final Fantasy games, and at first I was like, I don't know if I can handle this, and then I got into it, and I like the turn-based battle systems, and as I keep progressing into the Final Fantasy series, it keeps losing more of that, and I find when I play sometimes, I really like the battle system of 15 personally. Like I thought that was fun, but there definitely have been times in newer ones where I'm just like, man, I wish it would go back to being more turn-based, because I think it's like a chess game, and I like the pacing of it.
You really lose a lot of the strategy when you
the
action sort of battle.
The last Final Fantasy game to have some semblance of the turn-based strategy system was 13. Like it was the last one that had this like strategy stacking, like all that stuff, and it was still menu based essentially.
Right. Yeah.
But that was kind of I don't know if Square decided to make a decision, which to go to action based, and it turned out to be financially crazy for them.
I think that the answer to your question, will there, won't they, is yes and no, especially with regards to Square, because I think what you'll see is with their major big budget AAA release titles, they're going to trend more towards something that's a little bit more generally accessible, like an action system. And then you'll see, the Tokyo RPG Factory games.
Exactly, like I was bringing up on
really refining and embracing that sort of gameplay mechanic.
I think it's going to be, I think big budget games you might get, I would like them to do it, but I can see what you're saying where I think they might tend to lean a little bit more action based.
Because it would seem risky to put so much money into a project on the system that people just frankly aren't used to today in the mass market. So would it be so they're worried that if they threw it out there, it would be so polarizing in today's very action game market.
I also feel like so many people are our age and they've been playing, unlike me, a lot of people have been playing JRPGs and they're very used to that battle system, so they wouldn't be offended if they brought it back for something and it couldn't work, but it would be amazing if you could flip it on and off.
Yeah, we grew up on that stuff.
I've thought about that, but you're really... Yeah, that's an interesting concept. No, I really love it. That you could pick your poison. You could do it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I think Persona 5 definitely proves that there is a very strong, large market for that. But the budget for Persona 5 was nowhere near what the budget for Final Fantasy 15 was.
No.
Not even, it's
probably
a
not even
fraction.
close, honestly. Yeah.
So it's definitely, I think it's a risky thing to do in 2017 to have your AAA, multi-million-dollar RPG come out with a system that arguably has its roots in the 90s.
What I would like for Square to do is to do a Persona budget game, like I guess not AAA, like AA game that would be super polished, that they could throw more money into. like I like the Tokyo RPG Factory stuff, but I feel like it's almost too low budget. Like they could beef that stuff up.
I think when they got in bed with IGNIS, that really changed sort of their trajectory.
Yeah, that was a big moment. They're like,
do you know
they
how much,
bought them all
like,
out.
I Am Setsune, when it came out, do you know how much that was?
I don't.
I think it was $40.
Okay.
That's
Because
I want to say it was
I-
30, but it was on my list.
Yeah,
and I just never got around.
Because I know
to it.
whenever I got it, it wasn't crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll definitely get this because it's a fun thing, and I think that games like that, like what you're saying, like a AA game or whatever, you could charge a little bit less, and people wouldn't be like, well, this is going to be super high end and blow my mind gameplay. And I think that there's different levels for everything, and that
and you notice that was a digital release only, so you reduce a lot of the overhead there when you don't have a physical product in stores. You have to. But Octopath Traveler is very exciting too. That makes me happy.
That's what I'm talking about. And also I think that the feedback on that direction for Square, our generation loves that stuff. We grew up on that pixel stuff, and for them to do 3D, modern 3D, and hybrid it with the pixel art is really cool. And I think that they held back on that game because they realized, holy shit, the Switch is selling so much. Let's put a chunk of change into this.
I think a lot of companies are doing that too. But I agree because I think
and that's why we haven't heard much on it. I think.
Have you played the demo yet
for
Octopath?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because the Octopath Travel demo is really good. I recommend you play it. It's a quick little thing, and but it really kind of sets the tone of this is where they're going, and I was blown away by voice acting.
The voices were good,
and it just I wasn't expecting it. I was just kind of it's an old style game, and I'm just going to be reading a lot. But there were a lot of parts where I got some good voice acting. I was like, whoa, I'm actually well done. I wasn't expecting that, and I thought that was really cool. And I think Square does a good job of voice acting in general. So
yeah, they definitely do. I would agree.
Lost Sphere is the next I Am Setsuna title, and it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But as far as AAA games, I would probably collapse in joy if I saw a AAA Final Fantasy new IP or something like that make a turn-based battle system with the modern production values. I would go crazy, but I'm not counting on it.
And yet you slept on Persona 5.
Yeah. I still have Persona 5. Ugh, so AA. All right, so
quadruple A.
All right, so there was an interesting video that came out a little bit before Christmas, which was Yoshinori Kitase's interview on this channel called Edamame Arcade Channel, which is I guess Square's YouTube channel that they're trying to reach out to the West with. It's pretty fun, and the interview is cool. He confirmed and denied a lot of fan theories that have been out there for at least a decade, especially with the Squall is dead theory and is Renoa Ultimessi the whole time.
Are all the Final Fantasy set in a unified Final Fantasy universe?
7 and 10 were the same world.
He confirmed that.
That was surprising.
And he also said that 7 was based in after
Japan.
Post disaster Japan. And then they were like, so what about 10? And he was like, no.
Wait.
It's close, but it's not the same.
We haven't really fully fleshed it out yet, but
10-3 is going to connect it. But but it was fun because I'm sure it crushed a lot of people on the internet who are like, no, because 8's very open to theories.
I like how
and
honest
15
he was.
is too. Yeah.
He was very because it was a true false type thing. So
right, they gave him
it was great because sometimes he'd be like, both of them up, but then sometimes he was like, no, false.
Yeah,
you're
false.
wrong. That's a dumb thing to say.
Ooh, Kitase.
Yeah, he was hardcore.
He's hardcore.
Yeah.
So
he dropped the hammer.
Yeah. So he's pretty much if anyone
a lot of crying fans
says something about Final Fantasy, he leads the ship pretty much. So
he directed which Final Fantasy games?
He did Chrono Trigger 6, 7, 8, 10, produced 13, and is producing the 7 remake. So
he's done some stuff.
He's done a few things, a lot of things that people probably like. But so that was fun. Check that out. That channel is pretty cool, and I'm sure that that's what they're going to use now to release little tidbits.
What was that channel called again?
The Edamame Arcade channel, and it does have a little like presented by Square Enix in there, so it's there. And like if they got Kitase, I think this is what the channel they're gonna use for like remake. Ooh, we got a new 2-second video, which they released in that ride video.
State sponsored media.
Yeah, state sponsored media. That's icky, sticky. Yeah, like Nintendo Treehouse. Yeah.
Not Nintendo Treehouse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not state run.
Super Mario Club.
Yeah, Super Mario Club, right? Yeah. All right, so 2018 has some big shoes to fill because 2017 was pretty ridiculous, as we discussed a week or two ago. But 2018 has a lot of interesting games coming out. And like I can think of 3 right off the top of my head that I'm very excited for. So
lay it on us.
Lay it on us. You want to hear what I'm most excited for? Well, I'm gonna have to say that I'm really excited for the obvious, which is Kingdom Hearts 3. So that's my number one.
There's no way that'll get pushed next year.
Oh yeah, I know. They released the year. You had Tetsuya Nomura looking confused at this Disney extravaganza thing. Like, what? Yeah, he was just like, what is this? Well, he put it up there and they showed that really badass looking trailer, and that like Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, easily.
Vegas odds give it 50-50.
Yeah, Vegas odds. Oh, come on. Well, we'll see.
I was watching a video the other day where someone was like, "Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3," and this like the host was like, "Yeah, that's not getting pushed back
again."
And it was just like, "Shut up, it's gonna come out."
Yeah,
but whatever. Yeah,
but like, man, fans have been waiting so long.
It's almost there.
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005. Think about that. That was the last. So it's going to be 13 years by the time you get the sequel to 2.
Crazy.
That's insane.
So what was your other 2? Or do you say
the other 2? Another one would definitely be Detroit. That game is easily I would say Kingdom Hearts 3, just because mega nostalgia, Square Enix fanboy. So what? I'm really excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I already know I'm gonna like it. I just know it's gonna be great.
So for those,
sure you're excited.
Those who don't know, Detroit is
Detroit is the next game. God, the names of the companies escaping me.
Remedy, Quantic Dream.
That's it. And they did
same studio that did Heavy Rain,
Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, which by the way, super underrated game. One of my favorite PS3 games. Beyond Two Souls. Their next game is Detroit. So they've been working on this game for 5 to 6 years. And as far as branching story paths, I know that's what his whole game has been about. This one looks like it's on another level. It looks like that there are many layers of storylines that, they did that in Heavy Rain, obviously, but this looks like there's a bunch going on. And each one can intersect. And David Cage, he's the director, and he was talking about how this game has quadrupled the amount of branching paths than Beyond Two Souls had.
It's the most refined choose your own adventure book video game that they've ever done.
For sure. And I love the concept. We really like Nier. It's kind of back to AI theory and how seamless AI can become, and can you have emotion for these things? So
I like the games like that where you can easily replay it and just because right now I recently was playing some of the Batman Telltale series, and that was a game I kind of wrote off, and I was like, eh. But it was $20 on Black Friday, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I got it, and it was just you could be an evil Batman. You could you could kill people. You could punch people that don't really deserve. It was just really interesting because you could go in a very wholesome way, or you could go in a very weird, dark Batman way that you wouldn't expect. And I like that. That's an interesting thing about Detroit is that I want to be able to play different ways if I do play it. And I like games that do have replay value after you've beaten it once. So
yeah, I really enjoyed. I haven't played the Batman Telltale games, but I really enjoyed the Walking Dead games. I haven't played the last season.
Telltale and Quantic Dream were kind of playing the same game.
I've heard great things about Life is Strange as well. I haven't played that either. I'm a put a shout out there real quick that Until Dawn was one of
yeah.
my favorite branching, horror
The
games.
best
Butterfly
B movie
effect.
horror.
Oh man, I
yeah.
loved that game, and I'm a big horror fan.
Surprisingly
so I really,
good.
yeah.
Surprisingly.
I remember
really
we would play
enjoyed
it at your
Until
house,
Dawn.
and we would like alternate. Like, okay,
Yeah, it
now
was
something
fun, yeah.
crazy has happened,
Yeah.
so you take the controller, and now you decide. And like, I would always do the horrible,
The worst
thing. You're like, no, don't say that to him.
He went right out into the woods.
But it's
Yeah.
fun. Like I want to play Until Dawn again. Like I would play that right now because you can have a totally different
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
I think I only saved like 3 people or maybe even 2, and you can save the whole
Noob.
crew. I know. I saved 4. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. After on your 5th try. But so Detroit, Kingdom Hearts 3.
What's the third one?
The last one, So Shoot Me, is Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, which is like
Guides 2.
no. It's developed by Team Ninja, who did like Neo, Ninja Gaiden, and all that. That team has been working on this game for 5 years. It's been on arcade sets out in Japan for about 3 years now. And so they're finally releasing a Final Fantasy competitive fighting game with kind of its own unique system that like I haven't seen really in another game for PS4. And I'm excited to have Square or the Final Fantasy franchise have a shot at Smash Brothers essentially. So, and I like how it's 3v3. And there's a bunch of different characters, and they're even going outside the numbered series with some of the characters. So I think it could be really fun. And the stakes are high for that one. Like Square's got to prove they can bring it with
Is that in open beta right now, or is that late January?
That it comes out at the end of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we're open beta right now?
It's in open beta now, and it comes out in Japan next week. So... they're going to get it a few weeks for us, probably to prep the servers.
That
for the
does,
West.
yeah, that does look interesting.
Yeah. So those would be my top 3. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Do you want to go or?
Oh, you go next because you
I'll
sound
go
scared.
No, go
Yeah.
for it. Go
No,
for
I
it.
don't care.
Please,
Yeah.
by all means.
Go
Oh,
for
I
it.
know. I'm just. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of mine was definitely Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm just excited for that because it was like one of those games I saw it and I was like, it's a Disney game. I don't care. And then Thomas got it for me. I think you pretty much got me 1 and 2 for my birthday or Christmas or both. I don't know. But it was like both of those were really fun, and I'm excited to play the new one. From what I've seen, it looks amazing. I saw a screenshot where it's possible that Monsters Inc. world.
Yeah, that's
is
right.
gonna
Those
be
leaked.
another world.
Those looked legit.
And that looked really cool. Like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, awesome. I'm excited. Like, I didn't really play God of War that much, but I'm excited to play this one because if it's like from what I first saw at the E3 thing, I was like, why are you doing this? And then when I saw the next video, it's like, okay, this looks more like what I'm familiar with, but just done a little bit better. So I have good hopes for it, but I also know it's a God of War game. I'm just gonna hack and slash through like the entire thing for the most part, and then I'll probably just be happy with like the mindless fun that I have. And whatever. But then
God of War 3 or the new one, God of War, what's it?
God of War, just God of War.
It's just God of War. That's right. They're going back to basics. Looks like a very dramatic shift.
Oh, yeah.
For it. Like they said, it's 30 hours long and it has this huge story.
And I like the stories.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a little.
They're crazy.
There's gonna be a little
Yeah.
pathos for Kratos.
Yeah. And they said that, like, you know, he travels with his son, and Kratos is much more of a, like, you know, kind of a weathered down character in this one. And
It's
I'm
like,
sure that he's going to go from, like, kind of like, I'm a dad to, by the end of it.
It looks like it gets,
yeah.
I mean, it looks just like it gets crazy, but it's like done in a different way.
No, is it? I heard, and I don't remember if this is accurate or not, but I heard it was getting away from the Greek mythology and moving more into like a Norse mythology.
Yeah, that's true.
It
looks very
I think
Norse,
I heard that.
for
So
sure.
I don't have anything to back it up because I haven't done as much research on it because it's God of War, and I'm just going to be having fun.
I'm probably going to. I know I've been like.
It does look interesting. Yeah.
The nostalgia boy in me. I love God of War 2. That game's so good. That's one of my favorite action games. you know, like, so I was a little jarred by the new direction for it. So, but I haven't written it off. Like, I'm interested to hear.
I think, well, I feel
yeah.
like I almost did write it off essentially when I saw the new trailer, because I had just played pretty much all 3 of them prior to that, and I was like, what have you done? And then after I saw like the newest trailer, I was like, okay, this looks, it still looks different, but it's looking more like what I'm familiar with just crazy hack and slash. And I like stuff like that, because I like to play video games that are mindless. I don't have to think too hard. It's fun. But I do like, I mean, yeah, Xenoblade's been amazing, because that's like, it's deep in story, and I've really enjoyed it. But third game.
Wait,
What would it be? Those are 2.
What was the second? Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Because I like, honestly, like thinking about it now, I really, yeah, I don't know. That's like, I don't want to repeat, but I have to, because that's
You know, there's speculation that Last of Us 2 is coming out, and there's speculation for Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. But but we can't really add those, because we've got to know they're coming out this year. Please, Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
don't make me look painful.
My third one's
really stealing my thunder.
Yeah, my third one is going to be I'm not sure if it's coming out, but it's Pokemon. And the only reason that I kind of think it is going to be Pokemon is because they're projecting to sell 20 million Switches in 2018, and I do not see how they do that without releasing either the new Pokemon game for the Switch, or doing some port of a different one to get people like amped and wetting their beak for the new Pokemon game. But like, there's been some leaks and stuff somewhat recently, and they're saying it could possibly be holiday 2018 or early 2019, but we're not going to know anything. And I just want to know. I'm excited about it, because I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder how they're going to handle it. Is it going to be like an open world where you just can find every Pokemon? Is it going to, like, if it was like a Skyrim Pokemon or something like that, that would be crazy.
I feel like they've always wanted to kind of keep that killer version of Pokemon in their back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's why there's never been a Pokemon MMO. That's why there's never been, you know, a console, a big, robust console Pokemon RPG. But now, you know, with the Switch sort of blending the lines,
the opportunities
the
there,
handheld and the console
opportunities.
Yeah, the iron's never been hotter.
They're going to do it,
and I think that because they might be departing from the traditional way they've done like all the battle systems up until now. And if they do that, that could be really risky.
Very controversial.
And people could hate it, but they could also do it, and it could be fantastic. They could have been working on it. I know that I heard something that they were saying it could be like Digimon, the game, where it's more action based as opposed to just being a turn based RPG style.
Oh no, Nintendo, not you too.
Right, I don't know. So I'm just that's. If I was to say like a game that I'm really hoping for in 2018, that's gonna be one, because like I had fun playing Pokemon games, and I missed a whole bunch of them for a while, but then I played Sun and Moon, and I liked those. So what do you want, man?
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, and there's no guarantee that these games will come out in 2018 for sure, but Nintendo Switch had such a killer 2017. It's really hard to imagine them topping in 2018 or even coming close. And I think the only way they do that is they release a killer first-party app. So does that mean Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in 2018? Maybe not. Does that mean we get some, leaks on the Smash 5?
There's a rumor for Metroid 4 this month, right? For the Treehouse leak by EA or whatever.
There's like a Nintendo Direct that there's another rumor that on January 11th, so next Friday, it should be coming out. And they're going to, like, these people that have talked about certain things and, like, they've known information about other leaks, they're putting their 2 cents out there, and, like, you take it with a grain of sand, because it could just not be right at all. But it's like, that was like, Metroid is something that they have said that you're going to see like a gameplay trailer for, but don't kill me if it doesn't come out. I don't know.
I feel like you're gonna get one of the big Nintendo properties in 2018.
It has
You gotta
to,
get
they
something.
have to.
And
And
gotta
I
give you
think
something.
it's gonna be Metroid.
Yeah.
I really think it's
Like,
gonna be Metroid.
if they
I
were-
think Metroid is gonna be one of those games that comes out of nowhere, like Fallout 4 did when it was announced. They released all that media, and then 3 months later, the game came out.
The only reason that I say Pokemon is just because they're projecting to sell 20 million units alone in 2018, and I personally don't see Metroid moving that many Switches. I see Pokemon being the thing that makes people be like, okay, there's a new game and I have to get it
Get a
because that
Switch, yeah.
that
Very good
base
point.
is insane. And like it's not just America because it's also Japan and like that's my projection. I have no idea. This is just like a pipe dream again. I would love it.
So I'm gonna call that my first game,
Yeah.
Nintendo's big 2018 release. Whether that's Pokemon, whether that's Metroid, whether it's Animal Crossing,
Hope it's
Animal
something.
Crossing, Pikmin, I don't know.
They have
I don't
to
know.
bring it with something this year.
But something big from Nintendo
So at least something,
is
one thing
definitely
this
gonna come
year.
out in
Yeah.
2018.
Because
Yeah.
Kirby and Yoshi are pretty much guaranteed, but those aren't going to move systems. like
no,
a
that's not a
Pokemon
big deal.
Yeah.
or a Metroid. Because I could see people buying a Switch for a
So you guys covered a lot of the really, really exciting releases
Mm-hmm.
that are coming out in 2018. So I've got two that are a little bit under the radar or may not come out in 2018. My second pick is Mega Man 11.
Oh, that's
Oh
cool.
man, I almost
Mega
pulled
Man
that
11.
up because that
that's
looks
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
That was a
the
surprise.
hell out of Mega Man 9 and
Oh,
10.
yeah.
I love that they harken back to that 8-bit
Yeah.
design and gameplay.
That made me so happy when
So
I saw
difficult.
that.
And I really love games that really just don't pull any punches. So like, yeah, we're fucking hard.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
going to have to put in some time to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really disappointing how poorly Mighty Number 9 did, which was released by Keiji Inafune, who was the grandfather of the Mega Man series.
was
And
unfortunate.
it was really just, it didn't do very well for a lot of different reasons. But Mega Man 11 looks like it's taking some of those ideas and taking some of the ideas from 9 and 10 and making sort of a new installment in that series, and I'm really excited about it.
Because the Mighty Number 9 people came out with a different game that came out for the Switch, and I played that, and it very much harkened to like the original Mega Man. And like I didn't play Mighty Number 9, but like from what I read and heard, it was people saying that I wish I could remember the name of the game. I own it. That's sad, but like
You sure it's not Mighty Number 9? What is it?
No, it's like it's a different offshoot because you have two different characters, but they keep putting DLC out. Where one of them was like a free guy. Now there's like if you buy something for like $2, but it's like it is Mighty Number 9 is like a part of it.
So it's like Shovel Knight with Hollow Knight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
And
not,
so-
not Hollow Knight.
well-
It's a different game, but
But it is Mighty Number 9 is a part of it. But there's also like another character, and that was like the base of it, and I really hate that I can't remember the name, but whatever. It was really good, and like people were like, "This is what we wanted Mighty Number 9 to be." And it wasn't, but we have this, and this is really good. So, like, yeah, when they showed Mega Man 11, like, I thought that, I was like, yes. And I, like,
So much yes.
some people that I watched were like, I don't like the art style. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm so glad that you're going back.
Yeah,
Don't try
what are
to
you
do
talking
it in
about?
some weird,
Yeah.
like, third person or first person. Just have it be what Mega Man
although
was.
Mega
I
Man
was-
Legends 3 would be kind of cool.
I was just playing a Mega
Just
Man
saying.
game a few weeks ago. I was playing Mega Man.
Really? Which
Mega
one?
Man X on
Oh, that's a
the
classic.
SNES Classic
Yeah,
for sure,
that's
which
great.
had its own series.
I was
Right.
obsessed
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
game. I played that game.
I did
so
too.
Yeah,
much.
and I
love
played
it.
it, and I was like, I'll play it for a sec, and I was like, oh, it's been 3 hours.
And
yeah,
I did
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's
Like I would
just-
feel like that Mega Man X. It's not as difficult as the other ones, but I do think it was very.
It's definitely a little
fun.
quicker and introduces.
It is
some-
I
quicker.
like this.
Yeah.
There's so many things I liked about that game. I like the art style. When I grew up, I just was like, "This is so cool." And and like it was still just like it was pretty basic, but it looked really good and it played really well.
I was glad it was on the Classic because
Yeah.
that is an SNES Classic.
Indeed. Okay, so,
what's
my
number
game
3?
3, and I don't know if it's coming out in 2018 or not. I really hope it does. But Last of Us 2.
It's probably 2019.
Maybe so. But I am so excited for that. Last of Us 1
Yeah.
was one of the best PlayStation games ever played. It was amazing. And if Last of Us 2 even comes close to that, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
I love that Last of Us. Was
Last of
amazing.
Us, definitely one of my favorite PS3 games.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I thought that, like, Naughty Dog took the Uncharted formula and like just made like took a really good story, and they just parsed it and pasted it together so well. It was so visceral and violent and terrifying, like sneaking away from the clickers and all that stuff, and I just remember just how violent it was, and the ending was fantastic. I love the ending.
I remember you playing it and watching some of you sneaking around, throwing bricks, and like trying to get clickers away from you, and I was like, I don't want to play this. Yeah, game. This looks too stressful. Yeah. And then I started playing it, and it was just I fell in love with it. I was like, this is really really good.
Yeah. Man, like that game, that's probably my favorite Naughty Dog game. Gotta say, love my Crash Bandicoot, love my Uncharted 2.
Uncharted's fun.
Yeah, I love Uncharted 2 is amazing. That's probably my second favorite. But
let's wrap it up. In closing, what do we want to say?
Man, like let's do a quick lightning round because I wrote this down. What from 2017 that you missed do you want to play?
Persona 5 or Nier Automata.
Interesting choice.
Undertale.
Persona, which I started, but I need to get around. But a game I haven't touched. I need to still play Bethesda or the Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2, Doom for Switch, Skyrim for Switch. Oh, sorry.
One thing.
The list is for yeah. Well, that's it, y'all. 2018 is gonna be fun. You're still gonna see all of us.
Woo!
And we're all gonna probably like have our individual contributions, and eventually there will be a video about us discussing what game we need to watch Harrison suffer through. So that'll be fun.
And there's Skate. A lot of them.
There's a lot.
They have to play Skate.
We'll
so
play
if I have
Skate.
to play something, they have to play Skate.
Right,
so
we'll
I can show you how you play the game.
It's a deal.
We'll meet it. All right.
Happy 2018, guys.
Happy 2018.
See ya.